What's going on, guys? My name is Richard and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about C Limited, or SE, which is my stock of the week. And this is a really interesting and promising growth story because it has three different components to the entire company that are growing over 100% year over year. So as always, we'll talk about what this company actually does by visiting its website and analyst articles. Then we'll talk about the fundamentals in depth in Marketsmith, which is sponsoring this video. Then finally, we'll wrap everything up by talking about the technicals, because this stock has already had a massive run in 2020 and definitely needs some time to consolidate. And after this pullback to the 21 EMA, I'll talk about what specific signals I'm looking for to start buying shares. And if you enjoy my analysis, please go ahead and leave a like down below. It really does help me out and my channel. And for more videos just like this one, go ahead and subscribe as well. But getting into it, let's go ahead and visit C Limited's website. All right, so here we are on C's webpage, and if we go over to products and services, you can see the three main industries that they're active in. So you've got Garena, which is digital entertainment, Shopee, which is their e-commerce platform, and also C Money, which is digital financial services. And going first to Garena, this is basically a video game platform that is more than just that. It also is a social platform that allows people to meet and play games together and chat about their experiences. And these are the main video games that they operate, such as League of Legends, FIFA Online, Point Blank, Blade and Soul, and Arena of Valor. And they actually have their own entire esports league called the Garena Star League. And you can see it's the largest esports event that is hosted annually in Thailand, with 180,000 attending annually. And overall, this is a pretty cool and upcoming space domestically in the US, but also abroad in Southeast Asia. And moving on to Shopee, which is their e-commerce platform. It is the leading e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia and Taiwan, and is focused on basically pairing small businesses and allow them the means to distribute their products to their customers. And overall, it is growing very quickly, as we'll see when we look at this article over here, which kind of goes into the numbers. But anyway, lastly, they've got their C Money company, which is in digital financial services, and they're actually pairing this with Shopee to kind of have this as the native way to pay for stuff on that platform. But overall, it was established in 2014, and they say that C Money is one of the fastest growing digital financial services in Southeast Asia, which is a huge potential market. You've got an e-wallet, payment processing, micro-lending, and other related digital financial services. So overall, those are the three main kind of industries that C Limited is involved in. And as I said in Marketsmith, all three of these spaces are growing incredibly fast, and C Limited is poised to really benefit from this transition to more and more online services, especially in an area like Southeast Asia where there isn't really an established company, C can step in and really take up that market share. But overall, if you want a little bit more information about C Limited, go ahead and check out this video that they put out. And this video basically goes over the three different components that we just talked about a little bit more in depth, and also provides a little bit more information about the background of a company and also its values. But that's pretty much it for the webpage. And I also want to briefly cover this article from Investor Place. C Limited stock is still one of the market's best growth stories. And in this article, they talk about a lot of the things that we've gone over so far, how there's three components of this company that really poised to benefit from the growth in gaming, e-commerce, and payments. And they talk about how SE stock gained 255% in 2019 and a further 182% in 2020. And they also talk about the numbers. So you can see that the digital entertainment part of the company grew 167% year over year. That's fantastic. And you can see that the Shopee platform also saw its top line more than triple, which is very impressive. And basically, as they point out, there's not a lot of businesses out there that can grow 160% year over year, and C Limited actually had two. So that's incredibly impressive, and that will translate over to the stock price. But overall, as they point out here, the current crisis is accelerating this transition to online, and it's helping out gaming, e-commerce, digital payments. So C Limited is kind of perfect for this current environment and should see a lot of growth in the near future because of this transition. All right, so that is a brief overview of what this company actually does. And now let's talk about the fundamental numbers in Marketsmith. And overall, going down to the earnings reports, you can see it's not yet profitable, but it does have substantial revenue growth, up over 100% the past 4 quarters. And this most recent quarter, you can see sales were up 103%, and after-tax margins were down 33.5%. And taking a look at the annual EPS, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable in 2020 or 2021, but the revisions are up. The EPS rating is a 45, the Group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is a B, the overall composite rating is an 89. And I would like to see this be in the 90s, but what really stands out to me is the Group RS of an A+. This is one of the best stocks in the best groups, and you can see that it's been in a clear uptrend since really the March recovery. And taking a look at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend going from 107 funds 2 years ago to now over 460. And you do have one high quality fund in there, Fidelity Contra Fund, at a 0.03% position. And taking a look at the chart, you can see that the RS line has been going up, but recently it's been consolidating along with the other high flyers, the true market leaders, and overall it's found support at this 21 EMA and is hanging in there so far. And overall, I would like to see the RS line start to creep up and it start to recover, potentially build a base, and then break out once again. But overall, as I said, this is one of the top stocks in the top groups, and I'll be watching closely for an entry. And as for the setups that I'll plan to use, let's talk about the technicals. And as always, looking first at a weekly time frame, this is exactly what I wanted to see since its IPO. It went through its due diligence phase, and since then has really been a rocket ship going from around 18 at its IPO to now at 109.04. And looking at the weekly chart, you can see excellent consolidation after its IPO, then its first green line breakout on huge weekly volume, and then it had a stellar 2019, and it carried on that momentum into 2020. And overall, there were just kind of two brief consolidations, one in 2019, and then one with the March crash, which I think it decreased about 30%, so similar to the market, but it was showing decent RS at the bottom. And now looking at a daily chart, we can see the recent price action, which has been incredibly strong. All the moving averages are trending upwards. That's exactly what I want to see when I'm looking to find a position on a pullback. And you do have a pullback currently. You can see it consolidated along with the other growth stocks as holding that 21 EMA, although it didn't really have such a strong close today, even as some stocks like Twilio did incredibly well today. It wasn't part of that recovery. So obviously in the next coming days, I do want to see this start to move up and potentially challenge these previous all-time highs. But overall, this stock, after a huge run-up, hasn't really gone anywhere since 623. So that's a nice period of consolidation and is suggestive that the trend will continue and it will resume this overall monster run. And taking a look at the recent action, you can see that even as it was pulling back, it was on lower volume, and some stocks it was on high volume and it had big downside reversals, which I didn't like at all. But SC, it was a little bit more limited, even though it did decrease about 15%, 18% on this week. So even though it was pulling back pretty sharply, it was on lower volume, which is suggestive that institutions aren't selling just yet. And overall, I really like this price action, and I want to see it really bounce off this 21 EMA, potentially form a green dot or shorter term stochastic cross. That would be the signal for me that I should start buying shares, and eventually I would add until it breaks out into new all-time highs. And then I'd probably add a little bit more if it was a strong breakout on volume. And one more thing to mention, it has already broken that key 100 level, that Livermore level, which sometimes holds stocks back. If we go to crowd, it's been kind of oscillating right at 100 ever since kind of 619. So SE has already broken through that. So it could be ready to keep increasing and potentially challenge that next Livermore level at 200. So that is kind of my overview of SE. If you enjoy my analysis, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you have any suggestions for next week, let me know down below in the comment section. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in future videos.